Hello, cinema crier. Welcome back to Crying in the Cinema. I'm Keshia.
And I'm Sam.
And this is our fourth episode. We want to talk about the Omen franchise.
Yeah, so something a bit different for us. We've not really done horror on the podcast yet. And actually, until recently, I was not very well versed in horror films. How about yourself, Keshia? Would you say that you had watched a lot of horror movies before we watched the Omen franchise, or was it less your thing?
It's been my thing. I think for Hollywood, I watched a lot of the Insidious films. And I grew up mostly with Asian horror, like Thai horror, Japanese horror, which I kind of brought you to that sort of
Yeah, we've also been watching
recently.
recently we watched
The Grudge.
The Grudge. Yeah.
We watched Coming Soon.
Yeah, the Thai one, yeah.
That was a cinema themed one. It was really fun, actually. It was more fun to watch it as an adult film goer because we're like, oh my god, that's crazy. Now we're scared of going to the cinema in a way. And yeah, I think, why did we start? Oh, basically it was just a random decision because we wanted to get into horror together. And then it was, I think people were just talking about the first Omen online,
which had come out
last
in
year,
2024.
Yes. And the actors, we knew some of the actors.
Yeah, lots of Game of Thrones actors. And some big names. Bill Nighy as well.
And when I was a kid, this shouldn't happen anyway, but I watched the first Omen. I think it was just on TV.
You watched
but I was really
the
scared.
Omen, not the first Omen.
Oh, sorry.
This
Omen
is the
1. Omen 1.
The confusing thing about how they've titled these films. The prequel is called The First Omen, but of course it isn't.
Omen 1.
It isn't the first Omen film.
Yeah,
confusing.
it was scary to watch as a kid, by the way. And then I rewatched it. Obviously, it's not that thrilling. I mean, not that thrilling. I mean, it wasn't that scary to me because I can actually see the film more in a socio-politic sort of lens, which we will get into.
I mean, it's less. I think as a franchise, it's less gory, I would say, and less gratuitous in that sense compared to certain other horror franchises. When I was a teenager, I did see some, like some Saw films, which I liked because they were kind of fun and ridiculous. But these films are kind of a lot more serious, but less gory, and it works to varying levels of success, I'd say. But so we watched the first Omen, the prequel, together, and I think our plan today was just to kind of go through each film and discuss our thoughts, discuss where they land on our cryometer. If you know, you know.
I pinned it just now on our Instagram, so it's going to be the first post on our Instagram at crying.inthecinema. We can get started then from the first Omen film that we watched, called The First Omen.
Which is also the most recent one.
Yes.
So in terms of the story of this one, we have this girl Margaret who's being brought to this convent of nuns in Italy, and it's kind of all very strange because they act in strange cultish ways, and there is a young girl there who is acting out and seems to be being groomed for this position of potentially great power, and doesn't seem very behaving in a natural way, and I think all the tropes are there in that setup, but the genius of the film is that it doesn't just play on those tropes. It kind of sets them up to then kind of divert away from them, and that was quite refreshing, I thought.
So what do you think?
Well, I really liked it, and I'll say up front, it was probably my favourite of all the four that we've seen. I thought the main actor, Nell Tiger Free, playing Margaret, the main character. I think she did a fantastic performance, and I think the story was sort of suitably creepy, and it had a few twists. And I think some of the twists I saw coming, but not all of them. And I thought that was very effective. And I think the ending is very interesting. It sort of seems to set up potential room for sequels, which for a prequel is interesting and kind of unusual in some ways.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I think it's quite a glam horror film. I want to copyright that.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
I love glam film. I think I saw a review on Letterboxd that who said it's like a horror film with euphoria sort of filter. the show Euphoria.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, it's very appealing, I'm sure, to our generation. We're very used to this sort of filter, I think. Gorgeous cinematography. Where do you land on the cryometer for this film?
So in terms of the chronometer, I would put 3. Misty-eyed whimper.
Really?
Because there were some scary visceral moments that kind of had me wincing and shuffling in my seat, and yeah, on the verge of kind of tears of fear.
Mm-hmm. I think I was just crying on the inside. 2 out of 10 on the inside.
That's a number 1, isn't it, on the chronometer?
What's number 1? Yeah, I'm not really sure if it was dry-eyed whimper to me, but yeah, I think I was expecting more jump scare. That's why I didn't really shed a tear.
Okay.
On my from my side, the first Omen was very enjoyable.
Yeah.
The first, I would say 15-20 minutes, I think they were really selling the life of these nuns in Italy, in the convent. It made me feel I want to be a part of them, which is really fun, because like we're lured into their lives, and then all the twist felt felt harsher.
Yeah.
Because it was all like bright, it's a euphoria filter, but it was still bright. It was like a summer in Italy.
Beautiful.
And then that
beautifully shot.
Yeah, and then that transition into darkness, and all these revelations really put me into different emotions. Which is just such a rich film. Yeah, they were very successful with that, and they're not trying to be like in your face horror though. There's so many different aspects. Like, they put empathy to the story. The main character, to the girl that got you, as you have mentioned before, that weird sort of reaction to things.
Yeah.
The wild card in the convent, the young girl. It's like you kind of feel bad. She's just genuinely a caring nun, and this kind of like sisterhood. They show that they were working together. Obviously, we kind of knew where it's going to really in the end.
Well, the climax certainly, but I think the epilogue is something that will surprise people, especially viewers of the original Omen, because that some of the unknown variables that they're playing with, they take them in a direction which isn't the most obvious, and that is a very pleasant surprise. Yeah.
Well, there's still 3 other films, so probably we should move on. So we will start with Omen 1, 1976. This is an interesting one because I just realized after watching this there were so many cursed tragedies behind the making of this film. It was like mind-blowingly sad film. We'll talk about the curse later.
Okay. Well, I think this one I do like. I would say it's my second favorite of the 4 we saw.
I agree.
Yeah, it's very well paced, and I actually think that about most of these films is that the pacing is pretty good. You have this slowly unfolding terror as you learn more about the supernatural things that are being dealt with, and there's kind of a globe-trotting mystery going on, a mystery plot full of suspense, and you have the main character Robert Thorne, who is being approached by these other parties. We have Father Brennan coming back. We have this guy called Keith, a photographer who is seeing spooky artifacts in his photos that he's developing, and thinks that has something to do with the grisly fates that await some of the characters. And so he kind of listens to these figures and ends up going back to Italy, where this adoption took place, where he adopted Damien, the child who is the Antichrist. We see him then go to like a remote rural church, and then like a cemetery, some like ancient cave wall. So like, yeah, I mean, it kind of takes you everywhere, and it's kind of a journey in Robert's mind as to coming to accept what his son is and what he has to do about it.
Yeah, to be honest, the Omen films people always talk about the killings, because it's quite they repeat all these killings by Damien himself. And what I would say is that all the killings are basically due to bad workplace safety in the 80s. I thought these are very possible killings. So I wasn't really that scared. I would say I was 0 out of 10 on the cryometer.
Cryometer on this one, I had the same misty-eyed whimper again, number 3. What I found creepy about it, which kind of did hook into my emotions a bit, was that it's the family murder that's happening here. We have Damien murdering his own adoptive mother, which horrible, is really grisly stuff. She's loved him and raised him, and like that kind of deep betrayal is very sickening to me. And then similarly, towards the end of the film, when Damien's adoptive father is trying to kill him and trying to convince him otherwise, and although by then he knows that his son is the Antichrist, it must go against every fibre of his being trying to kill this this child that he's been raising and being, showering with love.
Yeah. No, it's a very messed up. Yeah, it was a very messed up idea. I was just trying to find the comedy behind it, but when I think about it, it was the thing about the Omen films is because we've watched it again. I kind of lost track which one was the first one and the second one. But anyway, it's really messed up. I would say.
But yeah, overall, I liked it. Solid. I can see why it was a classic, and I can see why it became a franchise after that. Not just films, but they did some spin-off TV series. They did an American remake. They did a bunch of novels after the film as well.
That was interesting that you mentioned it was after. Anyway, I've made notes about the cursed tragedies that we can definitely critically agree or not. So so the first curse, which was really bad, Gregory Peck's son passed away a couple of months before the filming, and he was grieving, but he had to do the film, so it was a bit of not a very nice start for the whole crew. So this one, obviously nothing to do with Owen, but it's just the start of different tragedies during the filming, and then the next one, the chartered plane that Peck was scheduled struck by lightning, and there was the producer as well, I think the writer as well, 3 different planes, so it was like so that was also still real, that actually happened. And then the Rottweiler, which is, if you watch the film you would know, is a very big character in the Omen franchise. The Rottweiler is literally the dog from hell, basically. This is not as bad as the headline that time. The dog actually wore a muzzle, right? Yeah. So try to buy a stuntman, although with the muzzle, but the vibe of the shooting just was getting kind of bad. that time. And then there was, if you watch the film as well, you can see they went to the Windsor Safari Park, and there were a bunch of baboons that people you would know, and then they got really aggressive that day, and this is really sad. And one of the zookeeper was killed by a tiger around the same, like I think same week, in the filming, which is really sad. And there's another incident. The special effects supervisor's assistant, Liz Moore, got into a car crash that happened in the Netherlands, and near pointing to the town of Omen. It's not like Omen like Omen, but
Whoa, I didn't know that.
So basically, people allegedly, it was said it was like 66.6 kilometer away, but then people like in the Netherlands they won't put the 0.6. But anyway, it could be. But anyway, it was happening near the town of Oman. You can Google it. I was like, wait, let me check if this actually exists. It actually exists. There was a bomb in a hotel. There was supposed to be a dinner for the crew, but they fortunately didn't go. So there's just a bunch of different stuff happening. It was really sad, but thankfully the film was a huge success that time.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty chilling. I definitely have heard some scary stories of other horror films where curses have seemed to run rife. Definitely would make me think twice before producing a horror film.
Yeah, I guess. Or if you want to see this thing on a film as a story, you should watch Coming Soon. It's actually about that.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, check it out. Shall we move on to The Omen 2?
Yes.
This film has an odd title. It's called Damien Omen 2. Yeah. I think they couldn't decide which one to name it, and then ended up doing both.
When I was doing the research right before this pod, I was like, okay, there is no pattern on the title at all.
Yeah. So 1978, and we start off. I think this film has a great opening. We go straight back to this guy Bugenhagen in the Middle East. He's unearthed this ancient wall with some paintings on it of Damien being the Antichrist. It's to him solid proof of what he's saying, and he takes someone there, and they get in a cave in, and it's very dramatic opening. But what I liked about it is that it directly connects it to the first film, and in a lot of sequels that isn't always done, and so I was glad to see it being done. And secondly, because it also created a new it created a new blank slate for Damien, because the last person that could have done something to stop him from the first film was now gone. And then we skip 5 years and we see him as a 5-year-old as a 12-year-old.
Yeah, this is basically so before Omen 1 was he was probably in primary school.
Yeah, I think he was 5 in the first one, 12 in the second one.
Yeah, he's actually in military school. He's a teenager, a preteen. He was a preteen. So that's so crazy, this film, that he realized that he's the Antichrist at a military school. That's crazy. That's insane, I think.
Yeah, I mean, this one, I found it a bit weaker. And the plot was quite similar to the first one in a way, because he has these new adoptive parents and then they're discovering about him. There is a twist on it, which is quite effective. And I liked that, but I wish they'd explored it a bit more. And
well, the killings are more creative now, I think.
Yeah, the killings in this one are very good. We have and possibly the most memorable.
Yeah.
There's the journalist getting attacked by the bird on the road.
This is a recurring thing, the Rottweiler, the bird.
Yeah. Then there's the icy lake sequence, and when we spoke to my parents
Yeah.
about this film, that was about the whole franchise. That was the scene that they remembered the most. There is his cousin.
Oh no.
Which takes me to the
Yeah.
cryometer. I mean, for these scenes, it gets me. It's not as high as the other ones, but I'll give it a 2, a dry-eyed whimper, because there's a scene of him pleading with his cousin to join him and become his disciple, so that he doesn't have to kill him, and that's quite sad.
Yeah, I verbatim agree. 2 out of 10, and exactly that. It's always these connection and these horror films that made me feel more, of course, the empathy. Like, be it like the sisters in the convent or a cousin, really. These things, the parents that you mentioned before in Omen 1, these are the things that really make the film way more of a horror. Because these are the people closest to you, and I think that's the power of the Omen film, because they really do it, like they really play with your emotions with that.
Yeah, you really feel the isolation that happens to mostly Damien, but then also some of the other characters, like his adoptive fathers in these first 2 installments. As they sort of slowly lose everyone around them because of Damien as well. Yeah. I mean, the twist at the end, I did gasp. But yeah, I think like I say, it would have been nice to learn more about that and how it ties into the wider story of these films. I think throughout the films, we're aware of this shady cult who we see probably the most of in the first Omen, the prequel.
Oh, yeah.
But we still don't fully understand their entire plan, and it certainly doesn't seem to be a very good plan.
Yeah. What did you mention before to me? Like, in the first Omen, the film, they were doing this cult, quote unquote, for good.
Yeah.
And then it switched.
So I mean, in the first Omen, they're worried that the church is becoming irrelevant, and so they think if they bring the Antichrist to Earth, it will renew everyone's faith in the church. But it's kind of, I mean, first of all, that's already a bit convoluted. Certainly not, you could just run a marketing campaign or something.
Well, the key to organized religion is to put a fear.
True. But I mean, you could have created a fake Antichrist rather than a real one. I mean, like a hoax, like a convincing hoax.
They were just too deep into
way too deep into it. But yeah, I mean, most importantly, by the end of these films, we're then dealing with the Antichrist, who has his own disciples who want to bring about chaos. So the original mission has moved along from what it was, and I think the twist at the end of the second film, where Damien, I won't name the exact details, but Damien seems to symbolically depart from the cult, the original cult, and part ways with them, but they didn't really elaborate on that. And I think it's quite an important plot point. It kind of changes the entire direction of things, and it would have been cool to see the cult go against Damien. Like that would have been interesting, but we didn't see that. Maybe in the novels that happens. I'm not sure. Did you have anything else on the second one, the Omen 2?
Not much, just everything I hate. Like seeing the military school, it was horrible. And like bullying his peers as well. It was
well, he was attacking a bully, wasn't he?
Yeah, well, still.
Yeah, it was still
that was
still messed up.
Basically, this is the thing about these horror films, right? It didn't make any sense why he suddenly got into, like, it's not a seizure. Do you get what I mean? Like this bully, it just, nothing made sense. No one told their parents. It's just
yeah.
But anyway, this film is just I actually, this is why I like The Omen though, because the time is just it's his whole life from the first Omen. Well, that was prequel, but yeah, 1 until 3. And really, this is his coming of age, and they kind of really did well showing the coming of age part of it.
Yeah, yeah. I think,
coming of age to actually knowing he's an antichrist.
yeah, I mean that's a good plot point to have. That justifies, I suppose, why they're showing this episode from his youth.
Yeah, and he still has like the quote unquote human side of him, that he has that personal connection with his cousin and hating on family members that is a bit annoying, the aunt and stuff like that. Doing school stuff, they still show that, and I really appreciate they still did that instead of just making it a full horror film.
Yeah, yeah, it was very effective. So yeah, in terms of the last one that we've watched, we haven't watched The Omen 4 because I think it's a bit
I refuse.
disconnected from Damien's story.
It's not Damien anymore,
Right.
and to be honest, I think we are good. I think they were making this film as the last, and
Well, it's called
get-
it's called
the final
the
conflict.
final conflict. Final. No more conflict after this.
Which they took it very literally. The ending was there is no more conflict, which was very underwhelming to me. It felt like biblical to the T, and it's like what. This is what I said before. It's like there's so many people trying to kill Damien. Different people, from different angles, basically, and most of them are like doing it. They work really hard for it, and then the person that finally killed Damien was like had no effort, and then it happened, and then it's suddenly done. He's dead, and the world is in peace. I don't know, like.
I agree. I think yes, it's a letdown. As the end of Damien's story, it is a big letdown. But the ending, it's a shame because the setup of this film I think is quite good. I mean, first of all, it's very unique among all of them because it's the only film where Damien is actually like the main protagonist rather than one of his adoptive parents, or in the case of the first
Well, he's
Omen,
an adult
his
now.
biological parent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's an adult. He's played by Sam Neill, and I think Sam
Everyone
Neill
loves him.
is pretty good in it. I really liked he has some great monologue to this Jesus statue, and he keeps calling him the Nazarene.
Yeah.
I think that's really interesting. Some of the stuff he says in that monologue and his delivery of it. But yeah, we never really see. The plot doesn't really go anywhere. We never see Jesus' second coming, even though it's kind of foreshadowed throughout the whole film. And
That statue was enough to me, though.
okay,
That was quite dramatic, crying Jesus statue.
yeah, I mean that's enough perhaps, but I would have just liked to see some explanation of what happened, because so much of the plot is about this reincarnation of Jesus that has we know he's been born on this date in this place,
Oh, we don't know anything about
and,
it.
and so much of it is they're trying to kill off any babies that were born during that period.
Firstborn son.
Yeah, and then the real one must have got away because everyone tells us that, including Damien. And he says that's why he's getting weaker. But we never saw that happen.
Yeah.
And we barely even get told that it happened. It is mentioned so
Subtly.
fleetingly by the priest guy who just mentions, oh yeah, he's safe. Like, so we have to assume that he managed to squirrel him away. But we didn't see any. Why didn't they show that? And why didn't they use it to explore some involvement in Damien's undoing rather than the kind of disappointing undoing that we got? You know, other than I just was feeling weaker because Jesus was around. Like, he wasn't actually there.
Yeah.
Cryometer. What's you?
Zero. Cold indifference to me.
I understand why. I mean, that's fair. For me, it was a 1, crying on the inside, and that was purely for the King Herod style baby killing sequence because that was quite grisly, seeing all these newborns being killed off like that.
Yeah, that was horrible, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, other than that, yeah, it didn't really move me as much as the other films. It didn't really engage me or hook me emotionally as much as the other films.
Yeah. We are done with all the films. Now we're going to life updates. What are we doing?
We are looking to go to the London Film Festival.
Yay! This is the first year of me living in London, and this is part of my checklist. So
yeah, we're looking at if anyone has seen any of the films that are going to be gala premieres at the film festival. For example, if you saw it at Venice or Telluride, then do send us some mail and let us know if there's any we should especially try and go and see.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we've been trying to filter out. Obviously, there's some that is that we can't really do. It's during the weekday, whatever. But like, there's so many films, and we're very excited. And please enlighten us if you know any of the international films as well, because we haven't really heard much of it about it. So we're just very excited, and I hope we can get the ticket to go to the talk for Daniel Day-Lewis, because he's back.
Yeah.
For Anemone.
For Anemone, whose poster looks like it says one more, as in one more film.
One more, please.
One more for my son, because it's his son that's directing it. Ronan.
No, these people on the internet, these film goers on the internet were like, oh my god, nepotism, haha. And I was like, sure, but I think it's sweet. It's sweet that he's doing this. Plus, we've watched the trailer, and it was quite good, I think.
Yeah, trailer looks good. Sean Bean as well.
Yeah.
Love a bit
solid
of Bean.
Actors. Very beautiful cinematography, I found. Dark.
Yeah.
Classic Daniel Day-Lewis loves sad
the subject
characters.
matter is the kind of long-lasting after effects of political violence. I think is kind of the theme of that. So that's going to be exciting and interesting to watch.
So yeah, we're very excited. Closer to Halloween, we're gonna watch more horror films and go to more festivals. Hopefully, even the smaller ones as well.
Yeah, and to keep posted on everything, do follow our Instagram. That's crying.inthecinema. And Keshia has recently set up a Substack for us as well.
Yeah. This Substack is actually kind of like a modern day Tumblr, and a cleaner version of Twitter with more just smarter people who write, and everyone just so supportive to each other. And hopefully you can support our Substack as well, Crying in the Cinema. So yeah, see you guys in a couple of weeks, and bye-bye.
Bye.